Hey Andre, new year, new rules. And as you recall, last year a lot of EVs qualified for that $7,500 tax rebate.
From the federal government.
But not this year. Now, we're not talking about the state.
No, because every state does it differently.
Like here in Colorado, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's like $5,000.
It is, yeah.
And then for certain electric vehicles, there's an additional $2,500.
So we're talking about the $7,500 federal tax rebate. And we're going to go through the cars that qualify. So if you're in the market for an EV or a plug-in hybrid, or even a hybrid to some extent?
No, not hybrids.
Just
because
plug-in hybrids.
Hybrids are excluded by some of these rules because your vehicle has to have at least 7 kilowatt hours of battery, according to this. So a lot of hybrids, like the basic Prius, has a smaller battery, so that doesn't apply.
Yeah, so the rules used to be relatively straightforward. It kind of where the car was produced, where the battery was produced,
Yes.
but now we're getting down to like where the chemicals in the battery are produced. And so it's getting a little tricky.
And how much money you make.
And how much money you make, yeah. And it's getting a little bit tougher. So let's talk about the income caps. Let's start with that.
Yeah, so the easiest way to do this is to either go to tflcar.com, because Zach has prepared a full outline of this. You can also check it out at alltfl.com. But also, we have a link on the website to the EPA site. So that's the most dynamic, as far as I know, the latest information you could actually look up using your VIN.
Or you can hang with us and we'll tell you.
Yes, you can hang with us. But the income cap for all filers, for example, $150,000 per year, for heads of household to $25,000 per year, or for married couples filing jointly $300,000 per year. So this applies to most of us. I mean, majority of people don't make over 150 grand a year, as far as my friends are concerned.
Yeah, those groveling peasants, Andre. They're not quite in the same tax bracket. But let's jump to the chase. Let's talk about the cars that qualify, and we'll go actually down by, we'll do it alphabetically, right? We'll start by brand, and then we'll talk about the models in that brand that qualify, because there aren't that many anymore.
Right. And so this is what you've been asking us. You've emailed us and sent us different messages because a lot of vehicles dropped off the list. That's why you guys are really passionate about this. And in fact, let me show you who qualifies right now. The car that was just discontinued,
the Bolt,
the Bolt EUV and the Bolt EV Chevy,
they qualify.
It still qualifies, but it's just the leftover stock, right? The vehicles that are left over on dealer lots.
And do they qualify for the full 7,500?
Yep,
because some vehicles qualify for only 3,500.
Yeah, partially. Yeah, they do.
But now there's a big caveat here, okay? So we are not talking about leasing a vehicle. We are talking about buying it. When you lease a vehicle, that's a whole different thing. Most vehicles qualify for that. They work it into the lease. We're talking about outright buying it.
Yeah. The next vehicle, which is surprising to me, was the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid.
That's a minivan that's often overlooked.
Yes.
Which is weird because it's one of the few vehicles that Chrysler actually now sells.
Yes. And it qualifies for the total $7,500.
And I say that with the 300, of course, going away at the end of 2023.
Yeah. So that's the only Chrysler and the only Chevy. So if you think about it, the Chevy Silverado EV is not on this list. The Blazer EV is not on this list. None of the other.
The Hummer EV?
The Hummer EV is not on this list because there is also a cap of total vehicle price, right? So for trucks, it's $80,000 price, and for passenger cars, it's $55,000.
So if you're thinking about getting an $81,000 truck, no go. But that's why the Cybertruck is $79,000.
$79,999. Yes. Then Ford Escape plug-in hybrid qualifies for $3,750, so half of that amount.
Yep.
So that's nice. A lot of Lightning still qualify. So the Ford F-150 Lightning extended range battery and the standard range battery through 2024 model year qualified for the full $7,500.
Unless you get the Platinum.
That doesn't qualify.
Or the Lariat.
Certain Lariats won't, because it's 80,000 cap once again.
So
by the way,
you better get the standard XLT if you want the Lightning,
or at least keep the price under 80.
Yeah.
By the way, you remember the story that came out last week that Ford raised its prices on the Lightnings, certain Lightnings.
Yes.
I think they're maybe following some of this too.
So just trying to squeeze it in
Squeeze
under
every
the
dollar.
$80,000 truck cab. Okay.
Yes. Now, Jeep plug-in hybrids, the Grand Cherokee 4xe and the Wrangler 4xe qualify for $3,750. So those are still very successful sellers.
So they get half.
half.
Yep.
The Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring plug-in hybrid also qualifies.
Wow. I once again, Lincoln, one of the brands that's not top of mind, but it's
No,
good to see that it still qualifies.
but it's similar to the Escape.
yeah,
right?
they're very similar in terms of their platform. You're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
And
Oh,
then finally, Rivian, basically across the board for R1S and R1T, if you can keep that total vehicle price down below 80,
you got to get the dual motor, not the quad motor.
yeah, it just depends on what you can find.
And certainly forget about that extended range battery. That's right off the menu.
Yeah, but they get 3750 only.
Yeah.
So half.
Yeah.
And
Because they're built in Normal, Illinois.
yeah,
My hometown. No, actually, I'm from the Chicago suburbs, but I spent a lot of time in Normal because that's where my friend went to school, ISU.
there you go. And finally, Teslas. So some Teslas still qualify, not all of them.
Tesla's had a lot of vehicles, obviously, because either they're built, in California, or with the Cybertruck, they're built in Austin. I think they also build one of the other. Is Model Y in Austin? I think it is in Austin, if I recall right.
Some Model Ys are there
And
as
guys,
well.
we try to keep our fingers in all the where cars are built pies, but it's hard. It really is hard.
Yeah.
But now there's only 5 very specific models of Tesla that qualify. What are those?
The new Model 3 Performance.
Yes.
Model X Long Range.
Okay.
Model Y all-wheel drive, Model Y Performance, and Model Y rear-wheel drive. So the Model Y is actually benefiting from a lot of these incentives, $7,500 for all of them, if you can keep that price under 80 grand.
So no luck if you're getting a Tesla Cybertruck, and certainly no luck if you're getting the Foundation Series.
Oh, you know what? Model Y and Model X here 80 limited at 80 caps, so they're considered trucks. It's maybe their gross vehicle weight ratings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Makes
in
sense.
this case, it's not. Well, the Cybertruck is not even on this list yet.
With electric vehicles, the Model 3 could be a truck in terms of weight.
Yes, but it's not according to EPA.
So you don't
website.
think the Cybertruck's on there yet?
It's not on this list yet. Maybe because it's not really built in big volume right now. Plus, they're only selling the Foundation series,
Which doesn't qualify.
which doesn't qualify
yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
So, but Roman,
That's it, huh?
yes, but this means, let me go to the previous list from last year. This means that we lost a lot of vehicles.
We lost a lot of vehicles. We lost
Yeah.
at least twice, maybe 3 times as many vehicles used to be on the list.
For example, just in the last second half of 2023, Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid.
Let's just actually talk about not just the vehicle. Let's talk about the brand. So no Audis.
No Audis,
I keep going.
no BMW,
No BMW.
no Cadillac.
No Cadillac.
Like we said, Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, and Chevy Silverado are currently not on the list.
Yes.
And I think it has to do also with, like you said, battery materials,
Chemistries.
and chemistries, and all those things. We also lost the Ford E-Transit.
We lost the entire country of Korea. So no Kias or Hyundais.
Yes, we lost the Mach-E. Can you believe that? The Mach-E is no longer on this list. The Mustang Mach-E.
Ford buys a lot of their batteries from China, or some. I shouldn't say a lot. Some of their batteries come from China, and I can't think of the name of the company now. It's slipping but they're the biggest producer of batteries, and I think that's what disqualified them.
We lost Nissan.
Yes, the Aria and
Leafs.
the Leaf. Well, Leaf is unfortunately and Aria are both, I think, built in Japan, so that doesn't help.
So yeah, they're totally off the list right now. And also we lost. Oh, it says Cybertruck was on there last year, but I think it has to do with the price cap right now.
Okay, what else do we lose?
We lost VW,
Yes, the whole
shebang.
shebang. Yeah,
84.
VW said that they're going to move production to Chattanooga, and so they're saying they're going to get the cars back on that list. That's the latest news. So we'll see.
And of course, like you said, Korean manufacturers are not on this list as well. So we did lose quite a few vehicles here.
All right, so here's the question for you guys, and maybe for you, Andre. If the point of this is to increase EV adoption, in other words, get more people to buy EVs, it doesn't feel like this is helping. This now seems to have gone from a law that was intended for getting more people behind the wheel of electric vehicles to a law that is now protectionism, would be the proper word, for the American manufacturers, even though a lot of them are off the list. But still, that's what it feels like. So are we really helping ourselves or hurting ourselves by curtailing, the number of vehicles that actually qualify for EVs? Now, if you hate EVs, the answer is you don't care. There shouldn't be any tax breaks for any EVs. But if you like EVs, you may find the opposite side of the coin, and that is that this is going to hurt EV adoption.
Well, I think in the long term, I'm thankful because I kind of want a lot of the stuff to be built here.
Yes.
Or at least, ecologically minded. I don't want to ship materials all over the world just to make one car. So for me, in the long term, it makes sense. It also...
The problem is that China, whether you like it or not, pretty much
They
has
control
they have a lock on battery production.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm welcoming the fact that F-150 Lightning is still on this list for this year.
There's no Silverado EV.
No Silverado EV. So Ford is winning a little bit here.
You know what the takeaway from this video is?
What?
Don't walk to your Chevy dealer. We're not selling Chevys here. And get yourself a Bolt. What a
If
great,
it's still there.
Yeah, what a great little car. We bought it last year and we kept it. And
We loved it.
I loved it. It's got one Achilles heel, and that is it's only got 50 kilowatts of charging power. But otherwise, 240 miles of range. If you just drive around your hood or your town, you plug it in at home, drive it around all day, even take it to the next town, come back, and you'll still be fine, and you still get the tax credit. And I say that because ours was $28,000,
Yes.
and get this, Andre, with the federal refund of $7,500 and our state refund. It was like an $18,000 truck. Not kidding. I mean, car. $18,000 car, and that is about as cheap of an electric car as you can get.
I think it's a cheap any car or any vehicle.
Any vehicle,
for that matter.
Yeah, it was a bargain.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're a company, we don't qualify as far as I could tell for tax purposes. So we didn't get the rebate. But still, even at $28,000, it was a hell of a deal for a very good and well-engineered car that actually has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay before GM flushes it.
Yeah, exactly.
EVs. And then also, we're also getting to the point where now manufacturers, actually dealers, are signing up for a government program where they can actually give you this money on the hood. I think something like almost 10,000 dealerships,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, have signed up.
Which is really important.
Which is important. So instead of having to go through all the rigmarole of going to your accountant and figuring out how you get the tax rebate.
And then waiting a year potentially.
Yeah, you get it right when you buy the car. And then there's also a $4,000 used EV tax credit, which is also going to help, I think, for EV adoption. So, I kind of feel like this started out as a good program and then kind of devolved into this protectionism.
Bureaucratic thing.
And I hate protectionism. I really believe in a level playing field, but I don't think there is such a thing as a level playing field unless you're maybe playing a football. Never mind, the officiating at the football games has been awful. So no such thing as a level playing
there
field.
you have it.
There you have it, guys. Remember, go to where, Andre?
TFL.com.
Yeah, for more news, views, and real world reviews. We'll see you next time. Ciao.